1st of February 2016. And we should be putting little smiley faces and things up there on the board, but I didn't do that, did I? The equity markets have done reasonably well over the course of the recent times, and I'm looking at the wrong thing. We have a bit of a chance. Update. Okay. I was looking for the PHG trades thingy-mingy. So as you probably saw over the weekend, or at least on Friday, the Bank of Japan came out with an historically stupid decision to make interest rates negative. Full stop. Of course, those interest rates are only for the privileged few, the banks that can borrow off the government, and then they can go off and buy bonds in the same government. Full stop. So they borrow from the central bank and then lend back to the government for a free win, and the banks get healthier and their employees get bonuses because they've done such a good job lending for no risk. Full stop, new line. This same stupid behavior has gone on in Europe, and it has affected the European economy in patchy ways. Full stop, new line. We have short-term bear pause warnings in the following 358 US optionable stocks. New line. Including ABX, Barrick Gold, new line. Which seasonally starts to peter out around the next couple of weeks. A Pro Shares ultra short NASDAQ. BIV intermediate term bond from Vanguard. BLV, a long-term bond ETF from Vanguard. BNO, a bond market total bond ETF from Vanguard. New line. I would say BLV is probably the better short on those. Bond, which is the PIMCO Total Return Exchange. Bud, which is the Anheuser-Busch beer manufacturing thing. CA, Computer Associates. My brother owns some of these because he used to work for them in Hong Kong. New line. CBOE. Which has historically been an unbelievably hard stock to short for very long. New line. CL, Conga Palmolive, which probably needs a little bit more of a run up. COG, Cabot Oil and Gas. COH, Coach, which makes handbags. It's probably been slaughtered by Michael Kors wherever you go in the US, and it seems like Australia, somehow that guy's bags with the huge buckles and the huge MK have become so popular it's not funny. Full stop, new line. Now we all have bullhorns warnings in 251 US optionable stocks. A lot of pharmaceuticals meet the criteria, new line. AMTD, TD Ameritrade. Which with the stock market rallying, it might be an okay thing to look at if it breaks $30. New line. Boeing Company. Which is now on some sort of sextuplet bottom. And it's probably best as described as a LPHR with a stop loss below $110. A fair few China-related stocks and tech stocks like eBay, CRM, which is Salesforce, E-Trade, eBay, which would be useful on a break above $24. Honda, which is HMC, that's taking a bruising for quite some time now. It's getting close to a bottom, probably lower around about the $26.26 area. HLF, Herbal Life, which has been a source of a lot of battles, it starts to bottom seasonally around about now, so it might be worthwhile getting in. It's done a little bit of a nice retracement, actually. And you'll be thinking about buying it all the way down to $40 with a stop loss below $35, new line. Okay, let's get on to other currencies. And sorry I diverted, but I just wanted to go in and have a look at that. We have no real bear pause warnings in any indices. Tonight we'll be doing the forecast, so I'll probably go a little bit harder on these other indices as well. Full stop, new line. Dow Jones Transportation Average, new line. Good volume. Would have liked to have seen it break through 69.30. So this is still corrective in my interpretation at this point, looking for 71.50 as I have been blathering on about for a while. Full stop, new line. Dow Jones Industrial Average, new line. A good strong move up, which was not married up with a rally in the Dow Jones Transports as strong. Full stop, new line. Maybe it gets to 17,012. Full stop, new line. It's certainly exceeded our first target quite easily. Full stop, new line. At the moment, if you are long, stop is at 16,200, new line. S&P 500 cash index, new line. A nice rally up. Its likely lurking target is 1973 to 1964. full stop new line. If you are long, have your stop in the midpoint here at 1880, full stop new line. Or if you want a tighter stop loss, have it at 1903, new line. E-mini S&P, new line. Target 1958. And 1993 to 2008 is a target if it can keep on keeping on above 1963, full stop new line. We were talking about 1925 as a target, I think, and it's been blown. What we're seeing is a ABC pattern as far as I can see in a lot of these equities. So we should be looking to nail it on the head a little bit later on down the track once we get the opportunity, full stop new line. E-mini S&P intradays, new line. Little bit confused about where it was by the end of the day on Friday. We can see that it's still trending up, so 1951 is quite possible, even though it is confused, full stop new line. Dips to buy would be down to 1915 with a stop loss below 1910, full stop new line. E-mini S&P floor session, new line. A fairly good trending day for all that participated, full stop new line. Most people were asleep when they were participating. Aside from Americans, the Europeans went and had some lunch and had some dinner, and the Americans played on, full stop new line. Currently, it probably has another push up to 1935. Dips to buy would be 1924 or 1921 with a stop loss below 1917, full stop new line. Shanghai A shares index, new line. Shanghai A shares index having a bit of life on a bit of volume, which is somewhat pleasing. It may get knocked on the head somewhere between 29.12 and 29.40 if normal technical analysis was to apply to this, full stop new line. If it fails to get knocked on the head, then it would have a retest of 3005 and possibly fail there if normal technical analysis would apply to the Chinese market, full stop new line. Hong Kong Hang Seng, new line. And Dragon understood my Chinglish. A bit of adrenaline in the arm, which is good. Looking towards 19,941. If you are long, stop can be at 19,220, new line. Japanese Nikkei, new line. It got slapped down and then it went up. So 17,902 is the target zone, full stop new line. We saw the USD JPY go up, and that means second Dragon took the reading of me to go up. as do something that I told them what to do. Just 1 second, because it's really annoying when that happens. I don't know why it's doing that, because it's actually it shouldn't be doing that. Anyway. And what that means is usually the stock market goes up when the currency weakens. And that's really one of the most boring factors that has been in existence over the past 6 or 7 years since the GFC, when they started pumping cash. The stock market goes up, but the value of the stock market stays steady in the currency of the opposition, because they are just simply devaluing the currency. Full stop, new line. They think they're doing a good job, but really they're doing nothing. German DAX, new line. German DAX has done a retrace. It didn't want to join its friends, and maybe that was because they were getting a bit jealous that the euro has negative interest rates and Japan has negative interest rates. So Mario Draghi is probably conjuring up some dream to make his interest rates even more negative. Full stop, new line. When he does that, you could buy a breakthrough 99.13 with a stop loss below 96.85, targeting 10,122. Full stop, new line. DJ Euro Stocks 50, new line. Still quite disappointing, this, but we're still looking for 31.40 or 31.10, that sort of one area, maybe 31.60. Full stop, new line. If you are long, stop is at 29.50, new line. UK FTSE, new line. The UK FTSE has been our guiding force. It's been our driving force in realizing that the market was bottoming. Now, it's reached some levels which it needs to get up through, and that would be 6,100. If it can't get above 6,100, this has got some problems. And if it breaks down below 6,000 and close below 6,000, the overall indexes across the world have some problems. Italian MIB, new line. On the Italian MIB, we have quite a lot of nothing, but still may get towards 19,760. Full stop, new line. It would seem that Japan has attracted the attention of the world's investors. New line. TBT.ETF, new line. Now we've been holding on and hoping we're going to have to get back on our bikes because we have been stopped out on a PHG trade. Stopped at $39.32 off $39.45 stop. Now I would like to give it back on our bike, but we don't have enough time. New line, we'll have a look at that tomorrow. New line. JO.ETF, new line. Now, it never quite broke above 1875, but it has also confirmed that coffee is still going down. Full stop, new line. Now, hopefully, if you did get not filled, that's great. If you did get filled, hopefully you've gotten out. Full stop, new line. It should probably come back down to 17.64. Full stop, new line. Corn.ETF, new line. We are still long, and we're going to raise our stop loss up to $21.20 stop close only. USO.ETF or .US. This has a little bit of a brick on its head at $10, and I'd love to see it get through there to scoot through to $11.08. Full stop, new line. At the moment, we're going to need to raise our stop loss up to $9. stop close only, and $8.50 price stop. Australian Share Price Index Futures, SPI. I did say we were in the strongest market in the world in equities, and we've done a 50% retracement, and we've taken out 2 prior lows. So we should be looking towards 5,200 or 51.25 or 52.85. Full stop, new line. I have given PHG trades in the XJO.ASX. I didn't specify the SPY.SFE. But most of the people who trade the SPY know what to do with that information. Your stop loss should be now at 49.20 if long. Full stop, new line. Australian Share Price Index Futures, SPI internals. Most fund managers have been unable to get involved in the recent party on the upside for the Australian market. Full stop, new line. Over the next 2 days, they may join it, and it may be the reason it forces it up to 52.85 for us to take profit into that players who come to the party late. Full stop, new line. Dips to buy would be down to 49.49 to 49.60 should they come. Stop loss would be below 49.20 also. Full stop, new line. BHP.US, new line. A bit of a nothing day, but some good volume came in after they tried to hammer it down. So still looking for a break of $23, looking for $26 on the top side if it breaks. Your stop loss, if it breaks up, is below $21, stop close only, full stop, new line. Now we'll go into Australia, and sorry for the people who were delayed. Welcome to the ASX Equities Speed webinar for the 1st of February 2016. New line with some happy smiling faces hashtag. But I would say that many fund managers who got out of their shares, wealth fund managers from various countries who dumped all of their shares in equities and energies and resources, may be feeling a little bit unhappy. Full stop, new line. They may be feeling like they were dumb. Full stop, new line. Hopefully that feeling of dumbness makes them rush back in over the next 3 weeks. Full stop, new line. The US stock market has done well. On Friday night, the Japanese stock market certainly did well. Full stop, new line. The German stock market grumbled in jealousy at the mere notion that some other central bank around the world had decided that the European policy of having negative interest rates to allow banks to borrow cheaply off the central bank, like actually get rewarded for borrowing and stolen from lending, can now borrow from the central bank at negative interest rates in Japan and lend to the government itself by buying bonds, of which they're issuing plenty, and therefore pick up a free kick. Full stop. That free kick gives bonuses to bankers. Full stop. The bankers still lend you the money at exorbitant, extortionate prices and interest rates. Full stop, new line. So the economy in Europe has been patchy, and Japan has had low interest rates now for some 12 years, if not longer, and nothing has worked by having low interest rates, so they're going to do more of the same. Full stop, new line. The problem is the Japanese just aren't having children. All of their villages in the country are dying to a lot of extent. Maybe the ski villages are not. Full stop, new line. The population is getting older in Japan, and that's something that monetary policy cannot change. Full stop, new line. Japan does not accept migrants. Now you'd call Australian racist, that Australia gets called racist all the time, but Japan, if you go there as a foreigner, it's very difficult to be there. They give you a very hard time. Full stop, new line. One of my friends went to Japan. He married a Japanese girl. He couldn't live there because they gave him such a hard time. They are very xenophobic. Full stop, new line. Xenophobic does not mean racist. It means they just like their own people. But Australia is more racist because we accept migrants from all sorts of places and then give them free stuff and lots of money to do nothing with. Full stop, new line. I was watching a program last night and I figured it, or yesterday, and I was going, how is this program existing? Full stop, new line. I was just thoroughly puzzled. And it was with Annabelle Crabb, comma, Christopher Pine, and that, I can't remember his name. He's the head kicker from the Labor Party left, and he's the leader of the parliamentary Labor Party. What was his name? Anyway, it will come to me. Anthony Albanese. And Christopher Fine were being best mates in the kitchen with Annabelle Crabb. Now, I have to admit a bias here because one of my friends was beaten up by Anthony Albanese's henchmen a number of years ago at a polling booth. And he was handing out Liberal how to vote cards. Full stop, new line. Now, Christopher Pine and Anthony Albanese, I was just watching this going, this is just ridiculous. Why are these two guys on when they just obviously hate each other from the way they behave in Parliament? Full stop, new line. And later, they were discussing this, and they were just saying, we just do this so that we can get them out of Parliament and that we can get into control. Full stop, new line. So these guys incite violence, and yet they are actually quite good friends. Full stop, new line. Their aggressive attacks on themselves in the Parliament and other people, which come under parliamentary privilege, are probably what makes Australia less useful as a country in many ways, because we watch this circus of pageantry and stupidity and downright abuse. Full stop, new line. Thanks, Stephen. I didn't see it. I actually had to Google it. So we really are stupid people allowing parliamentarians to behave like stupid, aggressive people. Full stop, new line, because it engenders violence and a distrust and a hate of political opponents in people who don't know that all these guys are doing is playing the same game that they did at university politics by beating the other one up and being dramatic and melodramatic. Full stop, new line. I didn't realize to what extent this happened until I saw that program. Full stop, new line. XAO.ASX new line. Equity chart tells us a beautiful picture. Full stop new line. The weekly chart gives us a target at 51.20 and 52.84. Full stop new line. If you are long, your stop should be at 49.50. Full stop new line. We have seen the US stock markets do pretty well. The European markets not do so well, and the Japanese stock market do well because of manipulation. Full stop new line. China gives everyone less things to worry about as it rallies a bit into Chinese New Year. Full stop new line. The real generators of wealth, which are BHP and Rio and companies like that in Australia, have found a bit of stability. Full stop new line. We seem to think of banks as a generator of wealth, but they actually don't export anything to the rest of the world. They just steal off Australians. Some of it back to investors in their companies. Full stop new line. XJO.ASX new line. Weekly chart, not that flash. Full stop new line. And it's not that flash for a couple of reasons. New line. Namely, colon. New line. Not much volume, as much as last week. And a lack of ability to close through previous closing prices. Full stop new line. It does have a target at 50.67. If it breaks through that 50.80 area, expect 52.65. Full stop new line. That seemed like sarcasm there, Cam. Okay, so at the moment, the US rally is somewhat corrective. So at the moment, the US rally is being somewhat corrective, and the Australian rally is also somewhat corrective with being in a range. Full stop new line. The nice thing is that there's good volume on Friday on the upside. XFJ.ASX, financials index, new line. did not seem to care greatly about what happened in Japan. New line. One moment. David Hunter, can I call you back in about an hour, please? Thank you. Target would be 59.98 on this rally, full stop new line. It's intriguing to me that the dailies didn't really break up with all that much strength, but probably above 58.50 would be an indication of that rally developing on the dailies, full stop new line. ANZ.ASX new line. Investors time frame, Colin. While we don't get the volume on the XFJ, we do get the volume on the ANZ.ASX new line. This has broken up on the monthly charts, and which is a little bit surprising. We're probably looking for $25 on the top side in a corrective rally under normal circumstances. We'll stop in line. The curious thing is that volume was very high on Friday, and I'm wondering if that was options expiry, question mark. So if you are long ANZ, and yes, it was options expiry, which means that the volume spike that we see is to be ignored. Full stop. So if you are long ANZ, run a stop loss at $23.88 and hope for $25 or $24.70, full stop new line. Up there, maybe a get out of jail card, full stop new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. We can see that the current rally has been basically an inside week, which we suspect may be a fourth wave forming, full stop new line. We see volume was not that good, and we'd see at best a rally back up towards $25.56, full stop new line. Traders time frame, Colin. Everything I said under the investors time frame was actually daily time frame, and so ignore what I have said on that one. I'm going to redo the investors time frame right now. On the investors time frame, we still see heavy volume to the downside on the monthlies, and it must get above $26 to be okay. Full stop new line. I would suspect that it still has to find support somewhere around $22, full stop new line. So given the dailies, given the weeklies, we still expect lower prices unless it closes above $26. Investors timeframe, CBA.ASX. Investors timeframe, CBA.ASX is still in a large range, but its real support is down around that $68 area. Full stop line. I would imagine the way most things are pointing is that it should test that $68 area at least, and maybe even slip down to $60, full stop line. Now the way it could do this easily is to pay a dividend. That would get it down towards $70, I guess, full stop line. Now CBA reports next week, so we'll get some information as to what the quality and the quantity of the dividend is. CBA has a policy of making it very hard for you to talk to them over the phone if you need to do anything with the bank. Full stop line. CBA also has a policy of getting rid of tellers at branches, which makes it a lot harder for you to open an account with them if you are not technologically inclined. Full stop line. Hopefully, in CBA's eyes, hopefully anybody who is not technologically inclined will die, as will the tellers. Full stop line. Cam, if you go into the Rose Bay branch, which has a lot of pensioners, you will find that they are told to go to Double Bay or go to Bondi Junction. Full stop line. I guess they are hoping that they will die so that people can go and buy their properties with high-priced mortgages using the Commonwealth Bank. Full stop line. So the day of the helpful person is dead in this Commonwealth Bank. Full stop line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. We can see again an inside week with lower volume than last time. So if it breaks $76, expect a rush down towards $74 and $72, full stop line. Traders time frame, Colin. We can see the options related volume took it up, and maybe on the dailies it can get up towards $81, full stop line. Cam is saying that CBA gave a flash warning last week that their results may not be that great. stop. So this would mean they're not that confident, or maybe they're just making it in. What we're seeing is a return to where the indicators are being in balance, and it may be, just maybe, that a breakdown below here, which is $77.60, that there's some problems. And is saying that he calls, I've heard a fund manager calling banks large technology companies. NAB.ASX, new line. Investors time frame, Colin. Better health for this is above $28.35, full stop, new line. If that happens, stop loss is below $26, full stop, new line. At present, it doesn't feel like it's going to do that very easily, full stop, new line. The money may be moving back into resources, full stop, new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. Again, we saw last week a rally. It needs to clear through $28 or $28.45 to make it good for a run towards $30, full stop, new line. Last week's volume was slightly less than the week before's volume, making it not the most positive of weeks. Volume-wise, but price-wise, it's done okay, full stop, new line. Traders time frame, Colin. We see options volume on Friday, which distorted the weekly rally and may have pushed the price up due to an options play. So be cautious if NAB backs off below $27. The squeeze may just have been options. Full stop, new line. Overhead resistance is at $28.40 to $29. Full stop, new line. Investors time frame, Colin. WBC.ASX rallied on a bit of better volume. Stop loss would be at $30 if you are long this. Full stop, new line. Hopefully it can get to $31.50, and hopefully the options volume was not the main driver. Full stop, new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. On the intermediate time frame, stop loss again should be below $30. Full stop. And again, we see volume less than last week and an inside week. So It could tip either way, but more likely is to tip to the downside, in my opinion. Full stop, new line. Traders time frame, Colin. Just on my opinion, if the Reserve Bank decides on lower interest rates, then it's probably likely that the banks will rally and property market will rally. Full stop, new line. In the area where we are at, which is fairly large blocks of land in Melbourne, whenever there's an open home here, there are a lot of mainland Chinese appearing, and this was on last Saturday. Full stop, new line. But maybe the property is still exciting and enticing for them in Australia. WBC.ASX has come back into some balance on the daily charts. Volume was interesting if it was options expiry time for Westpac, and I'm not sure if that is the case. It's still interesting. Stop loss should be at close below $30 if you are long. Full stop, new line. You might hope for $31.50 if it continues upwards, new line. XMJ.ASX, new line. Last week we saw a slightly new weekly high, and we have an overhead resistance towards 6600 and 6604. Full stop, new line. Break 66 and then expect 73.59, new line. Currently we see it tracking fairly sideways, which often means it should test up towards 6600 and maybe 64.20. Full stop, new line. So above 64.20, get excited for 6600. Full stop, new line. US BHP and US Rio tried to sell off first thing, and they rallied, closing in a neutral position by the end of the day. They gave us no information. Full stop, new line. BHP.US.ASX, new line. Investors time frame, Colin. I mentioned the number of angels, and that's a 72% decline. So what we have seen is it falls 72% from its high at $50. $71.88% to be somewhat closely to being precise. full stop new line. Break back up above $16.25 would be useful for a rally towards $21.67, full stop new line. The nice thing about the monthly chart is that it has a bit of a tail about it, full stop new line. Volume was kind of equal to the previous month's volume, and a few indicators are starting to flatten out just a little bit, full stop new line. But there is nothing yet changing on the monthly time frame to tell us that the trend is still not down, new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. On the intermediate time frame, we can see a break back up above $16.25 is useful for a rally to $17.17, full stop new line. We see momentum starting to slow, but unfortunately we're not seeing volume rallying as well as we would like, full stop new line. So we need to assume that the next rally may not be the one that we hold on forever to our shares with, full stop new line. If you are long on the weekly time frame, have your stop loss at $14.80, full stop new line. Traders time frame, Colin. On the traders time frame, we could see if it can manage to hold the day, we'll get our first buy signal for a little while, and that we had some volume that was nice last week, full stop new line. We still have no permission to really go long speculatively, full stop new line. If you are long on this time frame, have your stop loss at $14.80 also, full stop new line. Rio.ASX. Investors time frame, Colin. Investors time frame, we actually see sell signals on the monthly charts. Often these get bounced from here. If it was to rally in some magical way, $44 would be the target, full stop new line. The nice thing about last month was that it had lower volume than the month before, full stop new line. If you are long on this time frame, have your stop loss below $38, full stop new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. We see it moving sideways and having a test of that $40 area, full stop new line. A slight break up of last week's high has happened today, full stop new line. This is probably not the best way to buy it, full stop new line. You're probably better off buying above $40.25 close, full stop new line. If you were buying it, your stop loss would need to be at $38, full stop new line. Traders time frame, Colin. We see it lifting up on the dailies. Last week was possibly options volume. We see a few indicators being a little bit useful for it, and we see some divergence. So hopefully it can get back up to, say, $42 on a break above $40.25. On this time frame, you can be long with a stop loss below $38.50. We didn't have a look at the Baltic Dry Index in the commodities. That has done nothing but continue to go down. Chinese iron ore is showing some signs that it is basing out, but nothing yet conclusive. And the best we expect is $40 and $42, as I've been saying. Volume is marching up, which is good. So we're getting a rally in iron ore and probably a rally in iron ore producers. How long that will last, don't know. XEJ.ASX Energies Index, new line. XEJ.ASX Energies Index, new line. On the break of 72.41, we were looking for 77.62, full stop, new line. Currently, it's trading around 76.88. A lot of people who are short energies are being squeezed. Full stop, new line. Crude oil had a fairly quiet night, so it's the Australian punters' interest or investors' interest in energy stocks that is driving this move. Full stop, new line. I don't mind it, and in fact, I'd love to see it get back up to 9,185. But that's if it gets above 8,000, full stop, new line. Energy stock. STO.ASX. Investors time frame, Colin. Investors time frame, Colin. Long-suffering investors would love to see it get above $4, full stop, new line. Last month's volume was less than the months before, which was less than the months before on price decreases. Full stop in line. This would lead us to believe that possibly we are in the fifth wave. Now, we need better evidence for suggesting this than just that, but it's useful. We are seeing also some indicators showing signs of divergence. Full stop, new line. And at least some of the prices that they operate in have stopped falling. Full stop, new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. Last week we saw Santos break up out of its weekly low. Unfortunately, volume has not been compelling on the top side, and it has some overhead resistance to $3.33 for stop new line. So should it break $3.40, then that's good. If you are long at this time frame, have your stop loss at $2.40. $2.70. $2.70. Traders time frame, Colin. We can see that Santos had some good volume go into it. I'm not sure whether that's options volume. I suspect it's probably not. We can see that it's gotten above a bit of overhead resistance, and it had some more at $3.45. Really, if this closes above $3.30, then that's good. Stop loss if you are long on this time frame should be at $3.95 full stop in line. If you've had a good run in it, maybe you take a little bit of profit full stop in line. GD.ASX, new line. Last week I thought this was coming to the end of its tether. Full stop, new line, and it got slapped. Gold is now getting into where it can start to get hurt also, full stop, new line. See if the US dollar continues to strengthen across the board. Open brackets. This has not been happening. It's been strengthening against selected currencies who like to weaken their currency. So should this close below 2670, there is a problem, full stop, new line. At this point, it's rallying a bit and your get out of jail card is to 2800 on the dream or 2673 on the practical reality if you want to get out, full stop, new line. Pick a gold stock. NCM.ASX, new line. NCM.ASX, new line. Investors time frame column. The current rally is a little bit disturbing on the monthly chart. I did think it would go to $16.04, and it can still do that as long as it holds above $12.20. We'll start new line. The time frame column. It took a bit of a thump last week and can get up to $13.50. If it closes above there on the weekly basis, expect to push towards $14.50 or $16.04. Full stop, new line. Should it rotate further to the downside, a breakdown below $12.20 is your stop loss, and you would end up seeing it at $11.01. Full stop, new line. Traders time frame column. On the traders time frame, break below $12.50 would be unfortunate, and a close below $12.80 would start the ball rolling to the downside. Full stop, new line. Volume was heavy last week. I'm not sure whether on Friday whether that was options volume. If it was, then that bar down was bogus. If it wasn't, then that bar is important. Full stop, new line. SBM.ASX new line. Time frame, Colin, hitting the top of the negative cloud, and that's where it got bombed last week. Full stop new line. If it can get a little bit further up, it might hit $1.81, full stop new line. Your stop loss should be below $1.30 at this point, full stop new line. Volume is still reasonably positive on the monthly charts. Full stop new line. Should it break down below $1.80, expect, sorry, $1.30, expect $1.07. Intermediate time frame, Colin, hanging on. A break below $1.40 starts to make it look a little bit risky. Full stop new line. Volume was high last week to the downside, so this may well be your get out of jail card if you've kept long. You're just trading now at $1.48, $1.47 would be where I would expect to do a minimum retracement to before it could fall over, and that's right now. If you are wanting to hold on, look for just underneath $1.60. Traders time frame, Colin. On the traders time frame, we're not seeing much happening here. This is probably the top end of the range on the traders time frame. It may push up towards $1.54, but I would say here is an okay place to take some profit. Notice that it's been rallying on declining volume, so getting out of SBM.ASX if you're long is a great idea for something like. Been warning about the healthcare index last week, and I would warn about it more if it breaks underneath the positive cloud, which is around about the 19,330 area, full stop new line. At present, it hasn't broken underneath there, as far as I'm aware. And looking at current days trading, you can see that the healthcare index has one more push up towards new highs around the 2000 level. Again, full stop new line. It is coming out of a low base ADX. They did like it. It did do a retracement. It came and set on the top of the positive cloud. So there's probably not a lot of reason to get too negative on this one. Full stop new line. Pick a healthcare stock. CAJ.ASX new line. CAJ.ASX new line. Frame column. Getting a little bit of declining volume as it's falling, so getting above 30 cents would be a good thing on the investor's time frame to buy with a stop loss below 15 cents or stop new line. We also saw it hit the target at close to 15 cents that we deem to be important, full stop new line. A close above 24 cents might be inspirational for higher prices towards 30 cents new line. Above 30 cents, and we'd be looking for 55 cents on the top side, full stop new line. Intermediate time frame column. On the intermediate time frame, we can see a break above 26 cents. You'd have a stop loss at 20 cents, targeting towards 50 cents, full stop new line. Traders time frame column. On the traders time frame, we can see that this is flagging. So this is a buy on a break above 24 cents with a stop loss below 20 cents, stop close only, hoping for 30 cents. Full stop new line. buy more on a break above 24 cents. XPJ.ASX new line. The chart has been marking prime for quite some time, full stop new line. If it closes below 1250, it's going down towards 1150. If it breaks 1150, it's going down to 1045, full stop new line. A break up above 1320 indicates a visitation towards 1500, full stop new line. The pattern would indicate it's more likely to go up by the way that it's doing it, and with interest rates in Asia going negative, then I believe there would be a reasonable chance of the property index having a good run, a very good run, full stop new line. If they can get cheap money to borrow through the banks and through the central banks, if the banks allow cheaper money, you will find Australia would be a great place for them to buy, to get a return on investments, full stop new line. With the Aussie dollar lower against the US in particular, it's cheap if you've got US assets, full stop new line. And if you can borrow at very low interest rates, it's a free kick, full stop new line. We can see that the property index is trying higher now, trading above 1320 just, full stop new line. We could be at the start of a very big bull market in our property index stocks, full stop new line. GPT.ASX new line. GPT.ASX new line. That's just time frame column. We can see that it dried down to support, but it's broken up, full stop new line. Should it lift above $5, it goes into acceleration mode. Full stop, new line. On this time frame, I would suggest having a stop loss at $4.60 if you are buying this. Full stop, new line. Intermediate time frame, column, we can see a lot of jumble sale going on here, and we could interpret this as 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're starting in 3. And I don't want to get excessively bullish at the moment, but it's breaking up. Stop loss would be below $4.65. The DPT is on bear pause warnings, short term. But not every warnings work. In fact, it sometimes is a measure of the trend about to involve and evolve. Full stop, new line. GPT is about to go into trending mode on the daily charts, and all the settings are there for a big move up. Targets, $5.19. Let's buy a break above $5 on the new PHG trade. Other target will be at $5.76, new line. XTJ.ASX new line has a bit of a brick on its head at the moment. Some of the indicators say that it can go higher, but the best thing I would say would be to wait for a break above 2090, full stop, new line. Currently, shorter term, it is showing good signs. We have liked it before, but there's a little bit, just a little bit of trouble as far as I can see at that 2090 area. If you are long, let's have your stop at 2018, full stop, new line. on stock. What's the code for M2? Anyway, we've got any other telecom stocks? Let's do the hoary old TLS. Investors time frame, Colin. The investors time frame, it's nudging the old tops back from last month without much success so far. Full stop in line. The rally last month was on not as good a volume as the month before, which was not as good volume as the month before. So we probably expect $5.82 as the top of the target. Full stop new line. Now Telstra reports next week, so I expect it to disappoint. It may rally towards $5.82 in between, but up there it's at risk. Investors intermediate time frame, Colin. The intermediate time frame, $5.80 is the target, $5.35 is the stop loss if you are playing the game. On the weekly charts, it looks okay for a couple of weeks. Full stop in line. Time frame, Colin. We have a short-term target of $5.70 in Telstra. And stop loss should be at $5.56 if you are long. Full stop in line. Volume is somewhat supportive of it going higher. And if it broke through $5.93, expect $6.10 to cap off. Full stop new line. XSO.ASX new line. E106 is the target area. It is a little bit into a bit of pain here. If it breaks down below 2060, then get out of your small cap stocks. Full stop new line. or at least tighten your stop loss ups. Full stop, new line. Pick a small cap stock. ASX, new line. Investors time frame, Colin. Investors time frame, we can see support rests around that $1.88 to $2.11. Full stop, new line. We can see that volume has been declining as price has fallen. Full stop, new line. You should be waiting for brokers to tell you that these are bad stocks and that it's all over. Full stop, new line. Maybe tomorrow night or on Wednesday night when I go visit my friends at Sky, they will tell me how bad NTC and the technology stocks are. Full stop, new line. Last time I was on, they were telling me how good they are. Full stop, new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. We found that it's found some support, but not enough to confirm that it's going up reasonable. Above $2.60 would give us a run towards $2.77. Above $2.80 would give a run to new highs, probably. Full stop, new line. At the moment, expect more of a range. Full stop, new line. Traders time frame, Colin, we can see a triangle here, which would indicate we hope for that breakdown towards $2 or $1.81. Full stop, new line. Down there, it would be worthwhile for a pickup. The problem is, by the time it gets down there, we'd have a 5-wave structure to the downside. Full stop, new line. Something to think about, new line. Top 100 stocks. Questions? sun.asx, new line. Investors time frame, Colin. Last month's volume to the downside was drying up. A break above $12 and a close above $12 would be healthy. Full stop, new line. We see that currently it's sitting on top of the positive cloud, so we don't want it to slip a bit further. If it does break below $11.51, we might expect $10.73. Full stop, new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. On the intermediate time frame, we can see it's rallying up last week on quite uninspiring volume. looking towards $12 full stop new line. If you are long, have your stop loss below $11.30 full stop new line. Traders time frame, Colin. On the traders time frame, it has popped today, which is good. The volume the past couple of days was interesting, but not greatly exciting. We could be looking towards $12.17 or $11.85 full stop new line. We have had a PHG trade on, and I'm wondering whether we have been stopped out full stop new line. And I guess we were stopped out of the PHG trade because it's not on the list, full stop new line. If you want to get back on your bikes, it's okay for $12.17. Full stop new line. And you would buy a break above $11.87 and a stop loss below $11.60 full stop new line. If you wanted to wait for a dip, you would wait for a dip down to $11.64 full stop new line. I'll make that a new PHG trade with a stop loss below on close at $11.59. XP.ASX new line. It was 90 cents now. Okay, so that's Sun. Cool. Just and where entered. Investors time frame, Colin. Candles on the investors time frame is positive, but not going up too well. It probably needs to come back down to $10.10. And the sign that it would be doing that would be on a breakdown below $10.82 full stop new line. You'd look to buy down at $10.10 for another move up to new highs, probably around $13 full stop new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. We can see that it is rallying up now, so if you want it to be long, it could be with a stop loss below $10.90 full stop new line. The target would be towards $12.38 or $12.21 full stop new line. Traders time frame, we can see that it's hit something, so if you're happy to wait, you would buy a break above $11.30. One moment. So if you bought a breakout, your stop would be at $11 full stop new line. Your hope would be $11.80 full stop new line. So if you bought a breakout, your stop would be $11. Your target would be $11.80 full stop new line. Let me recap stocks questions new line. HAX.ASX, Lexium. Investors time frame column. Sitting on support right now. Full stop new line. So if you wanted to buy this, you would have a stop close only below $0.60. Full stop new line. If you wanted a wider stop, full stop new line. but more importantly, below 70 cents would be the stop loss, full stop, new line. Volume is increasing to the downside on the weekly charts on the intermediate time frame column. So it's probably best to buy a break above 85 cents and then buy more on a break above 91 cents just to confirm that it's okay. Full stop, new line. Traders time frame column. We can see that it is on a double bottom here. So if you are taking the risk of buying it on a dagger catch, you have your stop loss below 68 cents. I would prefer it if you did buy it on a break back above 78 cents. Full stop, new line. MAI.ASX, this is called mainstream. It had some good start and it's gone up a bit. This is on a monthly chart, so we wouldn't read about it. Investors time frame column. Investors time frame column. This is a very low liquidity stock, so it is only for people with big pockets who don't buy much of it and don't want to trade it easily. Full stop, new line. It seems to have started its life at 45 cents. Full stop. So if it broke below 45 cents, then lots of the people who got in on the float would start to be upset. Full stop, new line. Currently it's nearing 60 cents, and I'd say if it broke through 63 cents, it would be healthy for a break up. Targeting 90 cents, full stop, new line. So your stop loss is below 45 cents if you are long. You'd buy more on a break above 63 cents, hoping for 90 cents, full stop, new line. If it breaks up, have your stop loss at 54 cents, full stop, new line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. A break above 62 cents would indicate 80 cents, full stop in your line. If you are long this time frame, have your stop loss at 52 cents, full stop in your line. Traders time frame, Colin. Stop loss can be at 54 cents, stop close only if you are long. And if you want to buy more on a break above 62 cents, then that's okay too, full stop in your line. It does seem to be getting into a position of good balance. It has not yet attracted the inspiration of fund managers yet, full stop in your line. Dub.asx new line. Investors time frame, Colin. Currently forming up a fourth wave triangle. Support is at 69 cents or 67 cents, full stop in your line. If it breaks down below 63 cents, expect 51 cents to pick it up, and you'll be buying it with a stop loss below 40 cents, full stop in your line. Intermediate time frame, Colin. This week we can see a bit more churning behaviour. It probably comes back down to around about 74 cents, maybe a little bit lower than that, maybe 68 cents. Full stop in your line. If you're buying it, your stop could be below 66 cents, full stop in your line. Traders time frame, Colin. On the traders time frame, we can see a pullback, which is normal. It's come back a little bit. If you wanted to buy this on and it showed signs of strength, buy a break above 82 cents, or wait for that 74 cents area to buy in at with a stop loss below 71 cents, stop close only, targeting 97 cents. We'll stop in your line. Okay, that ends the current the blah blah blah. Now PHG trades, we'll just get onto those. Just 1 second. Tonight we will have a webinar on as well. Forecasting the markets. Okay, now let's go in and we'll look at the PHG trade review. JR said there's a special offer. I'm unaware of that special offer, ALQ, we're looking to buy a break above 360 or 325. We got filled on that one, I thought. Stop, entered and stopped. But I talked about that before. Anyway, maybe that was just ALQ getting smashed on Friday. BHP, we're long. Stock can be moved up to 1480, I believe. Let's have a look at that. Are you doing anything much? 1480, 1477. CAJ, we're long. We talked about that. GPT, we're looking to buy that break above $5. Let's see if that's gone close. It's certainly wanting to get up there. You can maybe close your eyes and buy some now. NAB at $28 break. Has that changed its perception of life? The PHG trades review, which the stocks which are on bullhorns and bear pause warnings. I'll just read those out to you. I won't type them up. We have AGL on bear pause warnings. We have GPT on bear pause warnings, but I like it. TLS is on bear pause warnings, and also Wes Farmers is on bear pause warnings. As you can see, Wes Farmers, I did like it the other day. It's probably worthwhile taking some profit if you got some of it. NAB done at 38.2. Let's hope it doesn't break up, because the banks shouldn't do that. NCM, we've been out on stop out. I hope Michelle understands that. PDN buying a break above there. Paladin haven't got above 23 cents, but we'll wait. SCG, we're long, stopped at 417. I think it was moving quite nicely then. Moving nicely, we can ratchet that stop up to $4.18. Suncorp, we're long, entered and entered. TPM, we're long still. We've taken some profits, 1/3, 1/3. Stop. $9.62. It's, but we already have taken a bit. I'd say we'll take some profit, but then buy more on a break above $10.40. So let's exit $10.35. So 1/3, 10.35 out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do, okay, and we're going to do buy dips, buy break. 10.15. See, we've achieved the 10.40 target. Going for the 12.1 on that break. Okay. Bikes. Focus, we're going to raise our stop to $7.51. Looks like our targets have been achieved. We have an XJO trade, which was to buy dips, and it didn't appear on the board, and I apologise. And we got long on the 29th, I believe, or 28th, and I'm not sure which one you got filled. We're down to 48.72. Okay. Sorry about the memory. Let's see the 40. Yeah, there we go. 49.70. 49.60. I think it was 49.60. Yeah, 49.70. Okay. Good. Now, I don't really feel like changing these until we get a real clarity from the US tonight. Saying target 49.60, target 50.25, and I fleeced it overnight. Thanks for the memory. Hey, I think I'm done. Thanks everybody. Sorry it took so long. It's 4 hours, that's all. Nice day. Hopefully I was showing the screen. Did we miss the screen? Or anyway, let's talk to you later. Bye.